We're no strangers to Hollywood symbolism, chimeras, body modification, hidden in plain sight rituals. And when mega superstars gather crowds of nearly 100,000 people nightly, a major shift in the time-space continuum is bound to happen through the energy created every night. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back, my nearly 600,000 mystic marvels, to my channel. I'm Leeor Alexandra. If you're new, welcome to the B community. On this channel, we talk about the law of attraction, spirituality, self-development, and so much more. And today's more is an interesting one. I'm going to break down some rituals and symbolism that I noticed in Taylor Swift's Eras tour when I went on Monday. My sister-in-law took me as a surprise. When I told you guys I was going to do this, I got a lot of messages from a lot of people who love Taylor, and I did get a few messages from people who feel like Taylor has negative energy. They told me that they don't like her. And while I wouldn't consider myself a big fan up until the concert, I was pretty much checked out on her music since college, but I left the concert with admiration for Taylor, for sure. She's a creative genius. She's an incredible entertainer. I was dazzled by her. So don't worry, Swifties, there's not going to be any Taylor slander here. I do, however, want to break down the magic that she is very clearly practicing in her insanely successful concerts. The Eras tour is grossing over $1 billion from the last I read, with concerts reportedly bringing in $7 million a night, even though I checked right before recording and Bloomberg is actually reporting that it's $13 million a night, which is quite fitting, as you'll see. It's very interesting. Venues are filling up to nearly 100,000 people, and every city she's in is also bringing in billions of dollars. Now, Taylor puts on a 3.5-hour show. She performs 45 songs. She sings live. She plays guitar, plays the piano, has several costume changes, seemingly without breaking a sweat or pausing for even a sip of water. Several times during the concert, I consider that she might be an extremely sophisticated AI cyborg, but I won't go into that theory because I don't want to take away from how insanely hard she clearly works and what an amazing entertainer she is. She's also very generous and has a great PR team because she reportedly has given her 50-something truck drivers for the tour $100,000 each as a bonus for their hard work throughout the tour. That's incredible. In my opinion, and I have to say that liberally throughout the video to make sure I'm not potentially saying anything illegal, Taylor Swift is a white witch, or a green witch is a better way to put it. A green witch, a nature witch. I don't like the white witch label, but that is something that people have used. Though I didn't feel anything satanic about her concerts, I could see how the overt symbolism and ritualistic choices might make people feel that way, right? Might make people a little cautious. All I can say is that I was there and the vibe was really, really good. Everyone was so incredibly kind and sweet and just happy to be there. And there was no off feeling like I've gotten in other situations. I've heard from a lot of people who have gone to different shows, different concerts, that it felt evil. And that this one didn't. And this one didn't for me, but of course everybody is going to have a different experience. I just know as a mystic, as an empath, and as an intuitive, what I felt, and that's what I'm going to be sharing here. Still, I can see how people might choose to go down that path and write her off as satanic, right? I'm not going to do that in this video. This video is about learning to decode symbolism in order to understand the patterns of the matrix we live in, to see how reality works. This is to our benefit and not to tear anyone else down. However, I did experience the hypnoticism of the event that people are talking about on social media. I'm going to talk about that towards the end. It's also important to know that mainstream music is intentionally tuned to make us feel certain things. There's always an agenda behind the music, and the agenda for Taylor, I feel like what it is love Taylor, adore her, admire her, buy what she sells. And it's important for us to be aware of that. But that's pretty run-of-the-mill because she is a billion-dollar asset after all. I will make a note also that Taylor intentionally creates Easter eggs for her fans. I'm not super in tune with them. I'm sure many of the Swifties out there will let me know. And so I might not know most of them, but I do believe her Easter eggs are part of her rituals as well. Taylor Swift is a gifted storyteller, and her music videos and lyrics and her public appearances are always layered with symbolism, and fans have always enjoyed picking up on signs, synchronicities, parallels, analyzing her lyrics, and diving really deep into her narratives. You might be surprised by a lot of what I say, or you might have the same exact feeling, but as a mystic and an intuitive, this is what I know in my body. I'm open to discussions in the comments, but overall, I'm making this video for entertainment purposes and for some, educational purposes for decoding. Let's start with the number 13. The first bit of symbolism I want to decode is Taylor's use of the number 13. I believe that Taylor is using sympathetic magic or associative magic with the number. The idea behind this is that like produces like, or that an effect can resemble its cause. So this type of sympathetic magic is actually called imitative magic. It's using an effigy, symbol, or action to create a desired effect. So many Swift fans already know that Taylor has this connection to the number 13. She'd often use a Sharpie to write the number on her hand before a concert as a ritual, and fans began doing it themselves. I saw many girls and many women with the number written on the back of their hands. This is because Taylor was born on December 13th. In award shows, she's often seated in the 13th row or the 13th seat or the 13th section. Her first album went gold in 13 weeks, and there's many more interesting synchronicities. By repeatedly invoking the number 13, a magical practitioner is actually amplifying its energy and significance and building energy to that symbol and momentum over time. Continual use of this symbol over time is going to immediately evoke feelings and intentions that the practitioner has programmed into the symbol. And that's going to affect you. When you see that symbol, you're going to be affected in a particular way. I don't believe that she's programmed it negatively, but it's definitely a sign that draws together the power of her and her fans and creates some sort of portal of manifestation and creation, likely to amplify her success. When a group recognizes a symbol, it unifies them. It creates a shared understanding, a shared identity, and it can be used as a way of transferring energy and magic. So this number has become a shared symbol between her and her fans, and it's a potent magical portal for this continued growth and success. It's also possible that Taylor is inverting the commonly known as unlucky number 13 into her lucky symbol. So what she's doing is harvesting the energy of the fear and the wariness around the number 13 and gaining power over it, switching it into a positive thing for Taylor using the law of opposites, the law of polarity. This is alchemy. This is transformative magic. It's pretty sophisticated. You're going to be surprised where 13 shows up elsewhere later on in this video. The next one is one that I don't see many people talking about. I've been talking about it, but I haven't seen it be as popular of a decoding subject, and that's the concept of karma. I want to talk about Taylor's preoccupation with karma. Her song to karma, singing that karma is a god and that karma takes all her friends to the summit. In another song, she said something that all she thinks about is karma. And her fans are thinking, karma is her next album, right? So I've had a theory that Taylor works with an actual entity that represents karma. Karma as a being. I believe that this is a sign that her intentions might actually lean towards purity and not to negativity. And I believe that this is the case because if there were a cosmic entity that was karma, if karma was sentient entity, I believe it would have to be an entity that prioritizes fairness and balance as the great balancer of all of reality, of all the universe. Karma's primary objective would be a way for souls to learn and grow and pay off karmic debts. And this would be a way for souls to confront their past actions. I don't believe that karma would necessarily want to create more karma in order to keep souls reincarnating. Instead, karma might hope for balance and enlightenment, for each soul to find balance and enlightenment. And I believe that Taylor works with this energy that's helped her reach great levels of success while she also somehow burns off her own karma, or she's benefiting from karma from past lives, in some way assisting others, whether consciously or not. A lot of her fans will tell you that her music is very healing. Just through listening to her songs, they've found ways to heal themselves. It is possible that this is the magic that she's deploying. It really is. She sings that she keeps her side of the street clean, right? And I believe that means she literally has to keep her intentions pure in order to work with this god, which is what she calls it, right? I believe her song and her mentions to karma are offerings. And I believe that karma she's accrued also helps her friends get to the places they want to be. During her concert, she'll bring out a band like Hypnosis, and she'll ask for louder claps for the band. And yes, on a practical 3D level, she just wants her friends to feel appreciated and loved by her audience and her fans. On a mystical level, that energy is being built, thrown at them, and they are harvesting it. this is good for their careers. The next symbol I want to talk about is the song Willow. Willow is a song that, for Taylor, has very clear connections to witchcraft. She has all these different versions of it on YouTube, all using the word witch in the title, like lonely witch, dancing witch. And the original song doesn't have anything to do with witch, so it's very interesting. During the performance of Willow, we were very obviously watching a witchcraft ritual. And if you come from a Judeo-Christian background, I could understand how this would probably freak you out. I did not see anything satanic when I watched it. I saw an interesting nature ritual, a pagan ritual, an ode to nature, an ode to Grandmother Moon, and to the feminine side of God, to the female god. And by the way, she also refers to Karma as a queen, which makes me feel that that entity is feminine to her as well. So I do believe that Taylor Swift is a white witch, as they're called, even though I think we can get rid of that particular label and just say that this witch likely leans benevolent. She deals with nature, maybe she's a green witch, right? And I believe in the concert that up until Willow, Taylor was actually channeling Venus Aphrodite to open the show, and Willow was a deepener, as we say in hypnosis, because the whole concert was very hypnotic. Willow opened the portal into the depths. It looked like her and her dancers were making a coven. She had 12 dancers, so 12 dancers plus Taylor makes 13. And now the traditional number of witches in a coven, you might have guessed, is 13. Now this number might be linked to the lunar cycles, as there are roughly 13 full moons in a year, and each of her dancers was holding a small fiery moon in their hands. Take from that what you will, but I think it's pretty clear, hidden in plain sight. She's announcing, I am a witch, right? The next symbol I want to discuss is the symbol of a serpent. So I quickly want to go over this serpent symbolism from her Reputation album. A lot of it is very overt, not covert, but some of it is deeper than what we might see at first glance. I was very interested to see all the serpent jewelry and tattoos in the audience. Taking the serpent to be the symbol for her Reputation era, Taylor is again using inversion magic, like the number 13, taking a symbol that was used against her during controversy, harnessing its power, flipping it, and becoming empowered from it instead. So the serpent, as many of us know, represents death and rebirth. It's a shedding of the old skin so that a new version can be born. And in Reputation, she does say something in one of her songs. There's a line where she goes, well, Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. And I do feel like this album, and I think that she says it herself, this album was a reinvention of herself. Taylor's Reputation album came right around when her Saturn return would have been making itself known in her life. And as many of us know, a Saturn return is a time of huge transformation for everyone. In the Look What You Made Me Do music video and performance in the concert, the snake symbolism is everywhere. Through this symbolism, I also believe that Taylor is channeling Lilith energy with her serpent magic. Lilith is common in Jewish and Christian folklore. She is Adam's first wife before Eve, and she's associated with independence, with sexuality, and with defiance. All themes that Taylor was beginning to embrace in this era. Lilith is also a feminist symbol of empowerment. And in this era, Taylor was reclaiming her power. And so I believe she channeled Lilith to help her overcome and embrace her own darkness in a more empowered way. Next, I want to talk about Mastermind. Mastermind was very interesting. She ends with Mastermind. I think it's the second to last song. This is the last bit of decoding we'll do in this video. Trust me, there's so much more, and I'd love to do that, but maybe in another video. For now, we can discuss it in the comments. But to me, I believe that Mastermind is Taylor's way of aligning with the universal law of hide in plain sight. There are laws that basically bind people who use this kind of magic, and a lot of people would say the elites, the way that they do their rituals, they kind of have to let the public know. So we kind of give our consent without giving our consent, right? They put everything in our face. The message is very clear. Now, Mastermind is the second to last song in the concert, and it basically announces that everything that she does, everything that she did tonight was on purpose, intentional, and now she has us. Now you're mine. Yes, the song is likely a romance song dedicated to a lover, but there are deeper layers to it. It's her announcement that everything we saw was by exact design, and I believe it was. I do believe Taylor is truly a mastermind. I think she's highly intelligent, and I know that she has limitless resources to play this chess game that she's playing with reality. She also clearly knows how to channel energies larger than life to assist her with her endgame. And now, what was the endgame? I think that's the question that would come up. I believe that the endgame is adoration, admiration, attention, energy to harvest and to grow from, and to be loved from. She confesses this herself in her lyrics. She says, "No one wanted to play with me as a little kid, so I've been scheming like a criminal ever since to make them love and make it seem effortless. This is the first time I felt the need to express or confess," I think she says. This is an admission which I believe validates my belief that the agenda behind her rituals is basically to be loved, to be successful, to become larger and bigger than life. She wants that adoration. She wants to be loved. A lot of people said that they couldn't remember the concert or anything that happened after, and this is likely because they were hypnotized. Some people who enter a trance won't remember what happened to them after. If you've been to my hypnotherapy sessions, I guide you into your own inner world for healing and relaxation. A lot of people drift off and don't remember anything. I do remember everything from the concert, but I'm also very familiar with trance states and I can live normally while inside of them, usually because of that familiarity. I remember snapping out of a sort of trance while she was singing, and I decided to look around. When the songs weren't super energetic and people were jumping up and down and they were slower and more like acoustic, and she was on piano or she was playing her guitar, I looked around and people were in a trance. There's no doubt about it. There are people with their mouths hanging open, eyes wide, swaying side to side. And I found myself doing the same, but with a smile on my face because I was just so entranced by her. The concert was hypnotic. Taylor Swift is dazzling. And that combination is not only powerful, but it's intentional. And if you're worried about something like that, consider what songs you listen to, what music you listen to, and the words in them. The music we listen to while we are in a trance is conditioning our subconscious. And if you feel her music is empowering, it's beautiful and fun, then you're good to go. If you think some of her lyrics, if you think you wouldn't want to see that happen in your life, then you should probably skip those. I want to know what you think. I know that I don't do this type of content too often, but it's fun once in a while. Let's talk about it in the comments. Remember that this is all for entertainment. It's all for fun. Keep it light, keep it fun in the comments because I'm very sensitive and I care what you say. Okay, I love you. Thank you for spending some time with me today. And until next time, as always, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Oh, and like the video and leave a comment and share. Love you so much. Bye.